Hi everyone! I hope you're all doing well. How are you? I just want to check if you guys can see my screen or can you hear me clearly? Can you please type in yes, just so I know if I'm clear to your side and my voice is clear. My apologies is if you can see me turning my head because I have like two screens with me at the moment. Hi Nina, thank you for saying yes. So I just want to make sure that I am clear to you before I proceed. Okay, thank you. We're actually live onto our two Facebook accounts, the Horizon Immigration Consulting and Horizon's Immigration Consulting Central. So please bear with me. I'm checking it simultaneously. Okay, hi, lovely. Thank you. All right. Thanks, guys. Thank you. It's great. If at any point you got disconnected, just please reconnect again. I would like to welcome you all into this Facebook Live. My name is Hazel, and I'm the marketing specialist of Horizons Immigration Consulting. So while we are still waiting for others to join in, can you please type in your name and location so we know where you are from? Hi, lovely. Hi, Sky. Thank you. Hi, Joe. All right. Okay. Hi, Chuck. Chuck is watching. Okay. Hi, Mary Chu. Joe. Let me know, guys, where you are from. We would like to know. Somerville, Auckland. Hi, Nina. Thanks for watching. Special mention. Pam is watching. Yeah, thank you guys for being with us. Once again, my name is Hazel. I am the marketing specialist of Horizons Immigration Consulting. Thank you for attending this webinar, live Facebook Live today. Let's wait for a few moments for other attendees before we proceed with our presentation. Let me know, guys, where your location is. Just want to know. Good morning sa Philippines. And is there anyone watching from the Middle East? I know it's early in the morning. Hi, Lovely is from Binyan, Philippines. Hi, Lovely. Hi, Rosemary. Good morning. All right, I think we can start. Okay. Just in case you got disconnected, just please reconnect again, guys. Okay. Can you please move the slide? Okay, so Horizons Immigration Consulting is an immigration consulting company based here in New Zealand. So I am based right now in New Zealand. It's currently 2:05 here in the afternoon. So we have over 30 years of combined dedicated experience, education, and immigration consulting. So we have our in-house team of immigration experts. And for Canada, we have our own regulated Canadian immigration consultant. We have Dan Dilks, who can help you navigate the ins and outs of your immigration matters. So it's really important to have an RCIC to represent your application. So Horizons offers end-to-end service focused on helping its clients with effortless settlement to their chosen country. So for today's session, we are going to feature one of our partner schools in the beautiful, beautiful province of Newfoundland and Labrador in Canada. It's really beautiful. I've actually looked it up in YouTube or online. It's a beautiful place. So Keyin College, in partnership with the Center for Nursing Studies, today we will learn about the pathways on how you can possibly or permanently live in Canada. So for today, we are going to discuss how study pathway can lead you to become a permanent resident in Canada. You will also meet Kean College international team. You will also learn about the benefits of living in Canada, and one of our director of international programs will discuss about the personal care attendant program. And lastly, we will have our Q&A portion towards the end of the presentation. So if you have any questions, just type them on the comment box below. We will address them towards the end of this presentation. So today we are very lucky because we will be joined by not just one, but 5 special guests. I would like to introduce to you Kean College international team, starting off with Ying Zhang. Ying is a regulated Canadian immigration consultant, or RCIC, and she is also the CEO of Newfoundland Cultural Link. We also have Tanya Davis. She is the Director of International Programs. We also have with us Jill. Jill is the Director of International Student Services. And we have Blair Connolly. He is the Director of International Student Admissions. And lastly, we have Jim Chapman. Jim is the Director of Curriculum and Assessment of Pelmo International. Hi, everyone. Would you like to say hi to our viewers before we proceed?
Hi.
Hi, everybody. Hello from Canada.
Yes, it's actually 10:40 there in Canada, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Thank you so much for staying up late just to be with us in this Facebook
pleasure.
Live. Again, just a reminder before, just if you have any questions, just please type them on the comment box below, and we will address them towards the end of this presentation. We will have our Q&A part. So if you have immigration matters, we will address it to Ying. She's our regulated Canadian immigration consultant, and for any question regarding school, Tanya and the team will be there to answer your questions. Okay, let's start. So as you know, there are many immigration pathways to Canada and secure permanent residency. So today we will discuss about the study pathway and why it's considered the easiest way to immigrate to Canada for most. To discuss about this one, of course, the best person to ask and the best person to explain to us will be the RCIC, Ying Zhang. Ying, hi Ying.
Hello.
Can you please tell us, like briefly, the common pathways, how people can immigrate to Canada? I know you are an immigrant yourself, right?
Yes, I can. Yeah.
Hi, Ronnie. Ronnie is watching from Hamilton, New Zealand. Yeah, we just want to know. I know there's a lot of pathways if you want to immigrate to Canada, but what are the common pathways? We just want to know the common and what is somehow the easiest pathway for them to immigrate to Canada and secure permanent residency?
Yes. So there are different pathways, as you said. There are federal pathways called express entry, under which there are 3 categories, which is Canadian Experience Class, Federal Skills Worker Class, and also the Federal Trade Workers Class. But every province has a provincial nomination program, PNP for short. So each province has different agreement with the federal government, and of course the pathways differs a little bit in every province. But in terms of Newfoundland and Labrador, first of all, the immigration policies are very friendly because we are so eager and anxious and welcoming to get people from all around the world to come and live in Newfoundland. We really need people and talented people as well. So for the students for the Kean College program, the provincial government specifically designed a program for international students called PNP, Provincial Nomination Program, International Graduate Category. This will be the easiest way for students who finish their studies getting their degree and getting their degree or certificate or diploma, and then get their work permit and then start to work. Then they can move on to applying for the permanent residency through the PMP program. Basically, the process would be get your study permit, start your program, finish your program, get a job offer, apply for the postgraduate work permit, which is designed for international students who graduate from here. And then when you apply for the postgraduate work permit, as long as your study permit is still valid, you as international students are eligible to work even before a decision is made on their postgrad work permit. So once they get a job offer and they receive their postgraduate work permit, they can start to apply for the permanent residency. And international students will get an opportunity to renew their work permit under certain programs or certain circumstances. So you don't have to worry about too much about my PR process is longer and my work permit is shorter. So basically, that's the process of this one. And it's, again, it's very interesting and very welcoming policy for international students to come and study and then apply for PR through this pathway.
Oh, it's good to know that there are available, and it's like it's not there's a lot of available options for them how they can permanently live in Canada. And of course, Newfoundland and Labrador, and the government is open. It's open that they really need immigrants this year, right? I was reading it always that for the next 3 years, Canada is in need of 1.2 immigrants. Is that right, Ying?
Yes, we need a lot of immigrants. Not only people from all around the world come to Canada, but also people who are already in Canada. Some of them come from BC or Ontario or Alberta to Newfoundland or a few other Atlantic provinces, because the immigration policy over here are very friendly. And how to say that, it's the provincial nomination programs, or the AIPP, the abbreviation for Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program. They're designed for people who wanted to stay here. These policies and these programs are not available in other provinces.
That's one of the advantages, I guess,
Yes.
when you come and live in Newfoundland and Labrador. And apart from that, it's like most people know about Toronto or Vancouver, Montreal, or any other famous provinces. I think it's saturated, needless to say, at the moment, those provinces. And Newfoundland and Labrador is open and willing to take immigrants at the moment. And of course, with the help of the government and with this beautiful program that Keegan College is offering at the moment, I think it's a good chance for them to take this opportunity. I mean, it's a good opportunity for them to take this program and hopefully become a permanent resident in Canada.
Yes.
Okay, that's great. Okay, Ying, I'll pause for you for a while, and I'll get back to you if I have immigration related questions. Thank you so much. Next slide, please, Pao. Thanks, Ying, for that, explaining to us what are the pathways on how people can immigrate to Canada. Okay, I would like to call on Tanya now to discuss about the personal care attendant program. As far as I know, Canada has a lot of open position for this specific program. Am I right, Tanya?
Oh, yes. Currently, we have hundreds of positions available just here.
Wow.
Hundreds just here in Newfoundland and Labrador alone. The last count was about 420 open positions that we can't fill. And over the next 2 to 3 years, it's only going to get worse. So we're in a pretty desperate situation. Like you mentioned, we need 1.2 million immigrants. The pandemic has really hurt us in terms of, the usual 500,000 plus immigrants we bring in a year to help us in many of our industries, but especially in healthcare. And so the personal care attendant program with Keegan College and the Center for Nursing Studies is a really, really special program designed specifically for international students. So we're really excited to offer this program to students and to talk about it here today, though. So thank you, Hazel, for the opportunity.
No problem. It's our pleasure to have you all here.
So Paolo, if you're ready to go to the next slide. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the program so you have an idea, a better idea of what we're talking about when we talk about our 𝐾IAN international team and who's here to support you, because that's important. So my name is Tanya Davis. I'm the Director of International Education. Jill Stanley is here with us as well. She's the Director of International Student Services. She would be the person that will help you with your transition from your home country into St. John's, Newfoundland, which is the capital city, which is where 𝐾IAN campus is located. Blair Connolly is the Director of International Admissions. He's the one that will answer all of your questions about the admissions process as you go through applying for the personal care attendant program with 𝐾IAN College and the Center for Nursing Studies. Ying Zhang, you've already met. She's lovely, and she's our wealth of information about anything immigration related. And Jim Chapman works with me. He is the Director of Assessment and Curriculum at Palmo International. He is the first person to see the Palmo PCA English language proficiency test that you submit when you apply for the program. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later on in the presentation. Next slide, please. So 𝐾IAN College has been around for quite some time. It has quite a long history of operating as the largest college in Canada for, actually over 40 years. They've been delivering government-approved curriculum. And this particular program is with healthcare and is in partnership with CNS, which I'll explain a little bit more in a moment. But 𝐾IAN College itself has over 40,000 graduates. So quite a long history of very successful programming in healthcare, business technology, and many other fields. But today, specifically, we're talking about healthcare. Next slide, please. So the partnership for the International PCA program is really amazing because it's taken the private sector and the public sector and government to all come together and have an agreement and a support system for this program. And so it's really important to recognize how supported this international personal care attendant program is. So 𝐾IAN College is the deliverer of the curriculum. They've been delivering the PCA curriculum for over 20 years for the Center for Nursing Studies. Now, the Center for Nursing Studies is a public institution, and this is the designated learning institution. This is the DLI that you will have on your letter, on your LOA. So in partnership, 𝐾IAN College and the Center for Nursing Studies are working together directly to offer this PCA program. Now, Palmo International, this is where the English language testing comes in. So the very first step in applying for the PCA program is to take an English language proficiency test. We don't accept IELTS or TOEFL, but we have a very specifically created test for this program. And Palmo International is the company, and it's actually my company, that offers this testing. Throughout the PCA program, there is ESL support for every student. And this is very unique to this program because in healthcare, communication is so incredibly important. Miscommunication can cause many mistakes, right? And sometimes critical errors. And so we want to make sure that every student is completely successful throughout the program. And finally, Eastern Health. That is our health authority here in this part of the province in Newfoundland and Labrador. Eastern Health is actually where the graduates will interview to get a job with their postgraduate work permit. It is Eastern Health that is desperate to have these positions filled and are very, very, very much looking forward to the first cohort of students finishing the program and interviewing for these open positions. Next slide, please. So just a little bit about the PELMO International PCA Assessment Tool, because it is the very first step in applying for this program. The test is about 70 minutes long, so it's quite short. There are no multiple choice or fill in the blank questions. There are 4 sections: listening, speaking, reading and writing, and a minimum score of 68 is required to be successful in applying for the PCA program. A 68 in the PELMO PCA program is similar to a 6.5 in IELTS, somewhere around that score. Okay, so about the PCA program. Actually, I think we went back a slide. Can we go forward a slide? There we go. Okay. So again, the support. Okay, actually, sorry. No, we didn't do this one yet. Sorry. So a little bit more about the market assessment of the program. So as I mentioned, locally, Cian has been training PCA graduates in Newfoundland for over 20 years. Newfoundland has a serious aging population, and the province needs hundreds of PCAs over the next 2 to 3 years to meet the demand. The Newfoundland government and Eastern Health have asked Kean College to recruit international students to fill these additional jobs. And in the next slide, you'll see how much this is supported. So we have endorsed by the Minister of Health and Community Services, it's endorsed by the Premier of Newfoundland and Labrador, and it's endorsed by the Minister of Education. So as I mentioned before, so many different organizations, both public, private, and government, have come together to secure this program. It's not a program that's too good to be true. We hear that often, but it's not. We want you to study with us. We want you to work in our province, and we would love it if you would stay. And if you have a family, raise your family. And we'll talk about what it's like to live in Newfoundland and Labrador in a little bit in the presentation. Next slide, please. Thank you. And of course, this is very important. The program is postgraduate work permit eligible. So all students will be eligible for the postgraduate work permit. Currently, the program is 12 weeks online and 33 weeks here in Newfoundland and Labrador. So at a minimum, the postgraduate work permit will be equal to 33 weeks, which is 8 months and a week. Some new IRCC regulations that came out today are suggesting that if you come here to Canada and you study the 12 weeks online, you'll actually be eligible for 45 weeks of the postgraduate work permit. But this is brand new information that just came out today, and we can clarify that a little bit more later on. But at a minimum, you will be allowed 8 months plus 1 week worth of postgraduate work permit after you successfully graduate from the program. And again, please note that the Center for Nursing Studies is the designated learning institution, and Cian College is the college that will deliver the curriculum for this program. So it is a direct partnership between the two. Next slide, please. Thank you. So why study for our international PCA diploma? Well, you'll gain skills. You need to work in the healthcare industry in Canada. You'll work hands-on in certified healthcare facilities at Eastern Health as you learn. This is really important. So the last 15 weeks of the program, you are in a practical healthcare situation. So you're paired with a registered nurse, a professional, and you are in laboratories and you're experiencing what it's like to be a PCA. And this will really help you decide later what kind of job you would like to apply for after graduation. And also passing our government approved, very important, government approved curriculum ensures that you qualify for any PCA job opportunities that there are. So there are many possibilities of the type of job that you can get from private to public, and you will qualify for any of those jobs when you graduate from this program. And while we can't guarantee a job, even though hundreds are available, what we can guarantee is a job interview with Eastern Health. We will help prepare you for that interview, and we will guarantee you an interview if you successfully complete the program. So there's a very, very, very good chance that you will in fact secure a job when you graduate. Next slide, please. So what is it like to work as a personal care attendant in Canada? Well, as a graduate, you'll be qualified to provide standardized care to the elderly, persons with disabilities, and people recovering from illness and injury. You'll be prepared to apply your new skills in government-run facilities or privately managed personal care homes in the province. Like I said, there's such a wide range of job opportunities, both in the public and the private sector. And you'll become, most importantly, I think, a respected member of our community because you'll be fulfilling an essential role in Canada's healthcare system. Now, we have very happy students, we're very pleased to say. I'm not going to read these out completely, but you know, our PCA graduates feel that the program felt like they were going through something as a family member. That's how they were treated by their instructors, by the staff, in their training for the 15 weeks. They felt like it was a family experience. They had felt like they had so much support throughout the program, and then again to getting a job afterwards. And I think that is the key difference to being in Newfoundland and Labrador and being in a program like this, where it's a smaller place, but because of that, we have a much more hands-on experience with our students. We care about each and every one of them, and we want to make sure that they're successful. And that is very much a key difference to studying and working and living in a province like Newfoundland and Labrador. So life in Canada, well, you know, everyone knows where Canada is, but it's a very big country. So, you know, it's easy to get lost amongst the provinces. But I am really, really happy to say that last year in 2021, Canada was rated #1 in the world for quality of life and social purpose. I think that's something we can brag about happily. In particular, the province of Newfoundland is safe. It's beautiful, it's friendly, and it is culturally diverse. And it is an excellent place to raise a family. In our K-12 system here in school, it's actually quite international here in the capital city of St. John's. So your children won't feel out of place at all. And there's quite a lot of ESL support if their English language skills are not at a high level. Then they will have that support as they go through school. And in Newfoundland, the cost of living is lower than in other provinces in Canada. Living conditions are above average compared to other provinces in Canada. And the opportunities for employment in this field of healthcare are excellent. So we had a lot of questions about the cost of living here specifically, you know, for one person, for two people, for three people. And so this is a slide you can examine later more closely to see approximately how much it costs. But one person for an apartment, if you're living in the city, and this is a choice that you have, of course, to live right in the city, very close to campus, which is possible. You can walk to school. An apartment there may cost about $850 a month for a single person. If you want to get a car and live 20 minutes outside the city like I do, the prices get much lower, even though you're still very, very close, and we don't really have traffic here. So that it's not an issue getting from point A to point B. So there are lots of options with regards to housing. and the price of, price of food. Fruits and vegetables are the most expensive things that we have because we're an island. But again, not terribly more expensive than the rest of Canada. It's pretty much the norm. So this is a good slide to examine, but our Director of International Student Services, Jill Stanley, is the person who will guide you through your relocation process. Her and her team will answer all of your questions about where's the best place to live, if you're a single person, if you're coming with your family, if you want a car, if you want to be able to walk everywhere. The center of the city is very compact. And so if you live in particular areas, you can walk everywhere, to grocery stores, to restaurants, to school. So it really depends, but it's very flexible. And most importantly, it's really affordable. So here we are, way over on the eastern side of Canada, this wonderful island. And the star there is on what's called the Avalon Peninsula, because it's St. John's, which is the capital city of Newfoundland. This is where the campus, Burkeen campus, is located. It is the most eastern point in all of North America. We are closer to Europe than the western part of Canada. In Europe, it only takes us about 4.5 hours to fly to the UK. It takes us about 8 hours to fly to British Columbia. So there's a very big difference in, who we're closest to. We like to think we're the friendliest people on the planet. You judge for yourself, but I think after this presentation and webinar, you'll see that we're a pretty friendly bunch of people. And we like to think we're the coolest city in Canada. And we have a video coming up, and hopefully you'll see that we are actually pretty cool. And this is the video. So before we begin, I just want to say there is a particular gesture that you will see in this video, a facial expression, should I say, that we often do, and it means something. So as you're watching, you'll see it, and when we're done, I'll explain what it means. But this is the capital city. This is where the campus is located, and this is a good example of the type of things we like to do.
Walking up the bustling street, I got fire in my pocket, got the sky beneath my feet as I turn up the boulevard. I got music in my ears and I got love inside my heart. Oh, whoa, oh, oh, whoa, oh. Each step left in front or right puts a smile upon my face and lights a new star in the night. It's cosmic, intergalactic, this feeling I'm feeling is so damn fantastic. It's our time I took a break from all my worries and my doubts. I inhale and breathe my troubles out. I'm going up, 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 and I'm never coming down. Oh, 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 it's nice to know I'm not the only one around. Up, 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 with these clouds. Oh, 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 but they don't know that life is better, so much better. Whoa, hey, oh, 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 whoa, oh, oh, it's so much better in the clouds. Whoa, oh, so much better in the clouds.
So from the video, I hope you could see all of the winking happening, right? So that is something that we do to say hello. It's just a natural thing for us. You know, we just do this, and it means hello, how you doing? So if you see it when you're here, you'll know what it means. And if you practice it, you can look just like one of us and kind of look a little crazy. In Newfoundland, you could probably notice from the video that we like being outside a lot. And if you have questions about what to do in Newfoundland in, you know, the different seasons, we can talk about that in the Q&A at the end. But we definitely enjoy being outside in all seasons. And we have a pretty temperate climate. And, you know, we don't live in igloos, even though we're so far east, it's actually not so cold. But we are a very friendly bunch. We like music. We have a great restaurant scene. There's a lot to enjoy here in St. John's. And we can't wait for you to come and enjoy it with us. So let's talk about the program details. The cost of the program is $19,955 Canadian. That's a little under 16,000 American. But I have something very important to tell you about that in a moment. So just wait for a second. The program length is 45 weeks. So it's 12 weeks online and 33 weeks here in Newfoundland. So you do the first 12 weeks online, and then there's a month period that you relocate to St. John's. And then the last 33 weeks are here. Now, you do, of course, have the option to move to Canada sooner than that if you have your study permit and do the online portion while you're living in Canada. That way you can work the 20 hours a week. That's always beneficial while you're doing the first online portion, and then you'll be in the classroom for the last 33 weeks. That's something we can talk a little bit more about in the Q&A, or Hazel and her team can guide you on later. Our start dates are January 10th, May 9th, and September 12th. That's for 2022. We don't have our 2023 dates released yet. And the job search support includes, well, basically all the support that you need with interviews to get a job. And like I said, you are guaranteed the interview with Eastern Health. So there's a lot of support on our side to help you get to the point where you will be offered a position with Eastern Health as a PCA. So this is the fun part. I really enjoy telling people this. We have a special scholarship. So all applicants that enroll in the International PCA program, and that means enroll means you complete the PELMO PCA English Language Proficiency Test. You submit an application and pay the deposit before December 6th. That should be 2021. For the January 2022 intake, you'll receive a $2,000 scholarship. So that's $2,000 off the price of the tuition if you have all of your application materials through by December 6th. And if your study visa is not approved before the start of the January 2022 program, you can defer to the May 2022 intake and still be eligible for the $2,000 certificate. So scholarship. So if you're thinking, what if I don't get my visa? What if I don't? Then you can defer. It's perfectly fine to defer to May, no problem at all. But if you can get all of the process done by December 6th, you will get $2,000 off your tuition. This is not eligible right now for September. It's only eligible if you apply for January. Like I said, it's also eligible for May if you have to defer to May, but it's not applicable for September at this time. So the program admission requirements, this is a foundation program, so we are really pleased to say that we can accept students who are over the age of 18, who have a high school diploma, and who don't have any healthcare experience. So you do not have to have experience in the healthcare industry. Of course, if you have experience in the healthcare industry, we're very happy to welcome you to. On the application, you'll see a place to talk about your work experience. This is where we want to hear about whether or not you have experience in healthcare. So everyone will do the same PCA program. because the healthcare industry in Canada is, of course, different from the healthcare industry in any other part of the world, right? Including the United States. It's just every country is different. And so everyone needs to learn the same rules and regulations and the technology that we use here in Canada before they can work in healthcare. But when you go for an interview, this is where things may change between someone who has experience in the healthcare industry and someone who is fresh out of high school, who just really wants to help people. And these are the type of people we want, of course. This is where it may change in terms of the type of job that people get. The English language level we're looking for is high intermediate to low advanced. Like I said, that's around a 6.5 in IELTS, a 68 in the PALMO PCA, a minimum of 68 in the PALMO PCA English language proficiency test. And we only accept the PALMO PCA. So we don't accept IELTS, we don't accept TOEFL. You may need IELTS if you're going through an SDS, the study direct stream, but that's for your immigration, that's for the study visa. For our program, you have to do the PALMO PCA English language proficiency test. Now, our admissions process flow, we are super fast. And so this really shows you the steps and the time it can take. So the first step is the test. When you do the test, within 48 hours, we'll have your score and a detailed one-page report back to you on your strengths and weaknesses in English, complete with examples even. And we use this to customize the English language support we provide to each and every student throughout the PCA program. And so this is really important why we need this test. So the first step is the test. If you pass the test, then you'll be provided with an application. Now, if you can get the application and the supporting documents back to us quickly, we will review and approve it. Again, within 48 hours, we'll get back and say yes or no and why and whatever, but we are very fast in responding to the applications that you send to us. If you're accepted into the program, the next step is for you to pay your deposit. That's a $2,000 deposit, which if you're applying, remember, before December 6th, you'll actually get back. Okay, so it'll go back against your tuition, but you still have to pay the $2,000 deposit up front. And after that, we will issue you LOA so you can apply for your study permit. Again, we are super fast on our end, so as fast as you can be on your end to supplying us with the documentation that we need to move the process along. We will help in every way so that you get your study permit, your study visa in time to start the program online in January.
Okay, thank you so much, Tanya. That's a lot of information.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting, I guess. I just want to recap what Tanya has just discussed. I think one of the good things about this program is that you don't need to have a degree.
No.
If you're planning to study and live permanently in Canada. I mean, if you're 18 years old and above and you're a high school graduate and experience is not even required, right?
No.
So yes, just in case you're also planning to shift a career, it's also, I think this program will also suit you. Like what you have discussed, healthcare is an in-demand industry in Canada, so especially in Newfoundland and Labrador. So it's really a great opportunity for them if they really plan to stay long-term in Canada.
Absolutely, yeah.
And of course, one of the most important benefits when you study in Canada is that they will be eligible to bring along their family with them, right?
That's right. And maybe we can ask Ying to talk about how that works in terms of bringing a spouse and bringing children, if that's okay.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, sure. So as an international student, when you apply for the study permit, you are allowed to apply for an open work permit for your spouse and for the correct document for your children, depending on their age. If your children are between 6 to 18 years old, they're eligible to apply for an open study permit, which means at the time of application, you make a whole package and your children can apply for a study permit without LOA. But if they are under 3 years old or 4 years old or even 5, then we encourage you to apply for a visitor's visa for your children. If they are above 18 years old, they can still apply for a study permit, but they have to have an LOA in hand. Otherwise, they can apply for a visitor's visa to come to Canada. And if they are eligible for study permit, we strongly encourage for you to have that, because it may get you the right coverage for your healthcare or other things. So this is how you can bring your family over to for the same length of study. Their permits will be the same length as your study permit. And also, we strongly encourage you, when you apply for the study permit, we strongly encourage you to apply a couple of more months or 3 months longer than your expected graduation date, because that time gives you the time to apply for your post-graduation work permit.
Ying, will the partner be eligible to work?
Yes, the partner or spouses, because they come on an open work permit, they're eligible to work anywhere full-time legally.
And one more question from me. Do they need a visa before they start the online 4 weeks online program?
Well, we strongly encourage, and I think, Tanya, we ask that students have the study permit approved before they start their program. And the reason for that is the post-graduation work permit consider the study valid and eligible for the postgraduate work permit when you have an approved study permit in hand, or the letter in this case. When you have an approved letter, the time when you start your program, that will be included in the postgraduate work permit length of time.
Okay, thanks, Ying. I think we have to move on to our question and answer part. Okay, so we have pre-picked some of the questions that we commonly receive from our clients. For the first one, I want to ask, how is the Filipino community there in Newfoundland and Labrador?
We have one Filipino restaurant.
Oh, wow.
We have
That's one point.
We have one, and it's fabulous. It's really, really good. I used to work as a director at Memorial University here, the only university on the island, for a few years. And I can tell you that the Filipino students we have at Memorial University are considered some of the hardest working, genuine and nicest students that we have. Everyone loves the Filipino students. They often get invited, to their houses for, to try Filipino food and everything. And this is how we discovered the restaurant. And but I'm not going to lie, it's not a huge community, not at all. So there is a community. How many exactly? I couldn't tell you, but it's not anything like a big city would have. I think that's a huge advantage, because they will have the opportunity to meet people from other cultures in a city that is incredibly friendly and incredibly safe. So for me, I think that's a really good thing, that the community isn't overwhelming in the way that it would be like in Toronto or in Vancouver.
Yeah, that's very true, Tanya. Okay, for our next question, what is it like to live in Newfoundland? Is it more rural or urban, the setting?
The capital city has almost 200,000 people, so it's not like we're that small. Everything you need is here. The one thing we don't have, and I joke with some of our students that love to shop, is really like high-end brands. That's something that you're not going to get. We don't have Louis Vuitton. We don't have Prada. We're a little bit, more kind of more basic, more, but an interesting fashion unto itself.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's the only thing that's missing, other than, the crime rate that you would get in other parts of Canada, or the congestion, or the traffic, or the terribly cold winters, which we don't have.
Really?
No, we don't. No.
Wow.
In fact, Newfoundland has an incredibly temperate climate. So in the summertime, it's generally between 20 and 26, 27 degrees Celsius. So it doesn't get very hot at all. And we love being outside. We spend a lot of time outside. We have beautiful hiking trails. I think probably the most beautiful in the country. In the winter time, most importantly, -5 or -10 is typically where the temperature will land. Whereas in someplace like Toronto or Calgary, with the wind, easily -30 on a February winter's day. Am I right, Jim? Yeah, Jim's in Ontario, so yeah, it's really cold, but we don't get those severe temperatures here, so it's really quite in between, and so that's a really, really good thing we find. Like I said, friendly. This is a really friendly place. People will talk to you even though they don't know you. I lived away for 20 years, and when I moved back here in 2017, it shocked me to be in a grocery store or to be in line anywhere and have the person behind me just start talking to me, because it's easy to pass the time. And I think that happens so much because the crime rate is so low. People just feel safe that it's okay to talk to anyone. And if you look different, you're really going to be talked to, because we're all a very curious bunch of people, and we like to know where you're from and what you do. And then you'll probably be invited to dinner at somebody's house because they want to learn about you, and it's interesting. So it's a pretty wonderful place to grow up, and like if you have a family, it's a perfect place to raise a family.
That's good to know, Tanya. I wish I could visit Newfoundland and Labrador one day.
Come, Hazel. Come, you're welcome.
We'll definitely do. Okay, let's move on to our next question. Can I apply for permanent residency after completing the program? Is this right? I think Ying can answer this one.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. As I mentioned, there's a pathway that is specifically designed for international students who graduate from here. So as long as you have a diploma, degree, or certificate that you gained from college or the university over here in Newfoundland, Labrador, and then as long as you are eligible otherwise, which means have a full-time job offer and things like that, then international students are eligible to apply for the provincial nomination program, which is a pathway to permanent residency. Again, this is a very friendly policy and pathway for international students, because you don't need to have previous work experience if you go through this pathway.
Oh, that's really good to know, Ying. I think that's one of the main goals of most most students who would like to study and possibly immigrate permanently in Canada.
Yes,
that's one thing that I will look into if I will choose a province, given a chance to study in Canada, of course.
Yes.
So another question for Tanya. Tanya, does the school offer like pastoral care for newly science students?
Pastoral care?
Or can they get like support from the school before they arrive?
Oh, absolutely. 100. Yeah. In every respect.
Do you offer pick up from the airport?
Of course. Yes. Because they will arrive at about 3 o'clock in the morning. So yes, we definitely pick them up from the airport. That is 100% necessary. just because of where we are in the country, usually flights come in quite late. They will be picked up. They will be met with a care package of food and things. And
Nice.
Prior to that, of course, they will have work with Jill and her team on their transition to Newfoundland. So, whether or not they're going to stay in homestay or in an apartment or rent a house or whatever, all of that will have happened in the month or previous to the month of their actual relocation to St. John's. So we have full support for all of that. And it's a one-on-one counseling and support service. So each person gets their own support and the advice that they need to find the best situation that fits them.
I have a question here, Tanya, from Nina. What is the entry point going to Newfoundland and Labrador, the airport?
Typically, it's going to be Toronto. Toronto is usually the port of entry. I think, well, with the pandemic, flights are very, very strange now, right? But they're coming back. So if not Toronto, it could be Calgary. There are direct flights from Calgary to St. John's as well. But most likely, they'll probably have port of entry at Toronto in Ontario.
Okay, thanks, Tanya. Another question: is there an age limit before they can, like, of course, age limit? I think mostly they will ask about applying for permanent residency. Is there really a limit?
Right. So it's a complicated question. So let me answer for the program. So we generally said initially, so over 18 and up to 45. But we recently accepted someone who's 46, and I'm 46. So we're just saying, okay, so that's not necessarily true. It really depends. I mean, the point of the program is to bring people in to work and help us solve a very serious problem that we have in our healthcare industry. So obviously we want people who are able to work for some time after they arrive. So we're gonna take the applications and, on a case-by-case basis. As for permanent residency, I'll let Ying respond to that.
Sorry, I had a little bit trouble unmuting myself. As for the PMP process, the age limit is between 21 to 59 years old. So anybody between this one, of course, if you are already 58, close to retiring age, you probably want to think about this. But if you are 45, I don't think you need to worry too much about it.
Thanks, Ying. I think we're going on to our last question. Tanya, what is the first step that they need to do before they apply for this program?
So the very first step to apply is to take the PALMO PCA English Language Proficiency Test. So that is the very first step. They have to have proof of language. And if they do, then we'll provide them with an application, or you'll provide them with an application.
Yeah, we'll do.
And then we'll move forward with the process. So the very first step is the PALMO PCA test.
Good. Thanks, Tanya. I think that's it for our question and answer part. Thank you all so much for all your questions and actively participating during this live Facebook Live. So if you are interested, you're welcome. If you are interested to know more about this program, please do get in touch with us. You can send us an email at info@horizonsimmigration.com. Again, I will repeat, you can send us an email at info@horizonsimmigration.com, and we will be happy to assist you in achieving your migration goal. Once again, thank you all for attending this Facebook Live. Thank you, Tanya, and your team. Thank you so much. We'll see you again soon. If you guys want to know more about how you can immigrate to Canada, we would like to invite you to attend our free online presentation specifically for Canada immigration. We will provide the link on the comment box below. Have a great day, everyone. Have a great night there in Canada.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
you.
See you again
Bye.
soon.